Hello guys and welcome to this tutorial in order how to install Succubus Crest for macOS on a Mac, in my case a MacBook. First we want to start with downloading the actual game folder, what I already did off camera. And here we can see the Succubus Crest for macOS. It's a .rar. So a Mac cannot work with a .rar file or with the actual file type .rar. The reason for that is because the game was created by a Windows computer and Windows uses .rar. So in order to be able to use and extract the game files out of it, we have to get the Anarchiver, what we can get in the App Store. And we simply type Anarchiver in the search bar and it's the first one that shows up. I already downloaded it. As soon as this is done, we can move forward by make a double click on the file and it automatically starts to extract our game files. So we wait for that to be finished and then we move on. All right, after this is finished, the Finder automatically pops up and displays our extracted folder here. Let's close this for once and we can see here Succubus Crest, the actual folder was extracted, and we can simply open it or with the folder via the Finder here. We can go to, in my case, the desktop because it's saved on the desktop. I can simply open the folder and now I'm able to see Succubus Crest, what is the game folder. And when I open this, I see the launchable, the app, the game, as well credits. And actually we need the whole Succubus Crest folder that contains all the important files that we are not able to see here, like save files and that kind of stuff. So what we want to do now is we take the Succubus Crest folder here and we simply move it to application. And in this case, it asks me if I want to remove it from the iCloud, which is completely fine. So I say move. And when we check the applications now and I scroll down here, I see my folder Succubus Crest as well as the content in it. So let's try to launch this for the first time. And I simply make a double click on the application file here and it says the application cannot be opened. The reason for that is, as I mentioned earlier, the game was created by a Windows machine and Windows simply does not know about attributes and settings and all that kind of stuff for a Mac application. So we have to make this manually. It was quite an easy process and I will guide you through it. I will provide the code, the commands that we are going to use in order for you to just copy and paste it in as we go. So first of all, we need terminal. And for that, we go to the Launchpad and type in terminal. And as soon as we are here, the first thing we want to do is we type in chmod -R755. And this is the first command that we use. And now what we do is we drag and drop the game file into our terminal and it will automatically apply the game path, meaning it is referencing to this file here because we want to edit this here. I click on the right arrow key once to unmark the path and now I click on enter in order to execute it. So let's try to launch it again. And what we will see is here that the game app actually launched the first time. And it now will say the game is an app created by the Anarchiver and if we are sure that we want to open it. Of course, the Anarchiver, we just downloaded it. This was used to extract the game. And I'm fine and I say open. So now the game launches the first time. Now the game launched the first time. And now we want to make sure that the game is actually able to save. And for that, we check some more preferences with a right click on the game file itself, get info. And here we can see that staff and everyone is read only and only my user account is read and write. We want to change this so everyone can save. And we just click on the lock. We use password or finger ID in order to change it. And now just click on it, set it to read and write, and do that for both. As soon as we are done, we can lock the lock again, close this one here, and we want to do the same for the Succubus Crest folder as well. So I make a right click, I click on get info, and just repeat the process once. So after this is done, I can close this again, close that, and we want to check another thing that we cannot do visually. We have to use our command prompt again. So let's type in the next command. And this is etc -L, and we simply drag and drop our game again. So we get the path again, and now right arrow key as well as enter. And now what this does is it checks a list in my MacBook to see if the game is set to quarantine. Let's call it quarantine. The reason for that is, as we can see here, it's actually com.apple.quarantine. So it's an actual quarantine because it was opened or created by the Anahiver, as we can see here. So Apple is not quite sure what is going on with this file. It does not know the developer, Anahiver. So we have to actually give it permission in order to release the game file from quarantine. And we simply do that with the third command, that is this one here. And now we copy this file here because we want to remove the quarantine. So we type in the quarantine. And now, once again, we simply drag and drop our game file into the Finder to get the path. I make a right arrow click and click on enter, and it should be removed. We can check once again by simply pressing the up arrow key twice in order to get to the second, or actually the second last command. So it was the etc with the -L. I click on enter to execute it, and as I can see, I don't get this quarantine line again, so it worked properly. That's how you can make sure. The next thing is, or actually the last thing, if we did everything right, is we go to the Launchpad, System Preferences, Security and Privacy, and here we just scroll down to Full Disk Access at the Privacy tab. So once we click on Full Disk Access, I can scroll down here and I don't see our game anywhere here. So it does not have full access, even though we set it before. So I unlock the lock to actually edit the things here. Now, as you can see, the list here is actually enabled, and I can click the plus to add more files. And conveniently, it already opens the Succubus Crest folder. If that's not the case, I can simply navigate to it with application and then scrolling down to our Succubus Crest folder and use the game file within that Succubus Crest folder. You can ignore this too. This was for testing and they are just shortcuts. As you can see here, this is an alias, this is an application, so always use the application for this one. In this case, we can click open, and now the game is actually in here and the check mark is checked, so this is fine. I can now lock the lock again, close the security and privacy window, and now if this everything worked, we can actually launch the app again and see if everything was correct. So what I actually do here is I play through until the first possible situation where I can save, and I will just fast forward it and we will move from there. So now when you are at this stage of the game, this is the first time that you can actually save and test if everything worked properly. So to save, I click on the X the menu opens and I just simply navigate with the down arrow key to save. I hit enter to open the menu. Now I can select one file that I want to save to. You have multiple save files that you can choose from. I will take the first one. I hit the spacebar to select it, and once again, because I want to save it. And now you can see that the book turned red here. This means that everything is saved correctly. You can also see here that the save file is created. I played 2 minutes 51 to get there, and it is an in-game time of actually 10 p.m. So far everything worked properly and I can save. So this worked. Let's try to load it again. Just close the app, relaunch it as you would do normally, and now you can see continue is also available. This was not available previously, it was disabled. So now we just go to continue, and now we can see our save file with the same stats as I mentioned previously still there, and we can simply select it with the space bar and once again with load. Yes, I want to load the save file, and as you can see, I'm at the same spot again. Everything worked so far. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial and I hope it helps you out in order to get going with this game on Mac. I really enjoy this game and I'm looking forward to you to join Discord and have a chat about it. Bye bye.